going through the chat to see if we have any more introductions. Okay, I know Michael now, I know Timmy, I know Ben, I know Raj, I know Tolu. I think Tolu is even one of our presenters today. I know Benjamin, I know Dupe. Every other person, if your name is not in this chat, I don't know you. So you might want to introduce yourself in the chat. Right. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to welcome you all once again to Amdari. And this is a project showcase session. So if you've actually heard about Amdari before, this is one of those sessions where you get to see exactly what we do on the inside. Okay. So you've been hearing, you go to one of our clarity sessions, we'll tell you that we revamp CV, we do this, we do that, but you don't really get to see the people we are doing this for. This project showcase helps you to see and not just over here, oh, we do this, we do that, and all of that, right? So I'll be expecting more introductions in the chat while we get straight into it. So who am I? Who is speaking to you today? Who is speaking to you this evening? Remember, I mentioned you'll be attendance one. My colleague has already joined. All right. So I am Victory Brown. Brown as in doctor, right? And even growth strategist. Now, just in very simple terms, at some point during this session, you would have questions. Maybe you're trying to transition into a new career path, or you're having challenges making a decision and you need some form of clarity on your next steps. I am right here to give you that clarity. So I would give you I literally empower tech professionals just like yourself with the right advice, and also just giving you the necessary clarity you need to get in order to take your next step. So I give you expert career advice. That's exactly what I would do for you. All right. Now, who is Efemena? Efemena is our co-founder here at Amdari, and he has a wealth of experience. This is one of the calibers of people that you would have as a mentor. So he has experience and he has helped over 2,500 aspiring tech professionals transition into the tech space, even with little to no background in tech, okay? And he has experience across the UK, across US, across Canada, across different data careers, okay? That is FMNA for you. Now, if you find yourself in any of these career paths, Amdari is the right place for you. Okay. So if you're trying to, maybe you're a graduate, you finished your master's and now you're looking, what's the next step for me? I need a job, right? Trying to break into the tech space, but you find some major hindrance because of lack of experience, you're in the right place. If you're a mid-level professional and you've been trying to apply to jobs, you're coming into this industry that is highly competitive. Everything is moving so fast and you feel lost in the industry, of you feeling lost with, where you are currently at the moment, you're in the right place. If you just immigrated, you're coming into a new country, maybe you were in Ghana and now you're moving to the UK, you're moving to a new country, and you're finding it hard to land a job in the UK. Now, maybe you had a lot of qualifications. Let's say you're coming in from Nigeria. I know we have, I've spoken to a lot of Nigerians that will tell you that I have 15 years of experience in Nigeria. Now coming to the UK, I feel like I'm starting all over from scratch. That is a very common thing we get to hear. You're in the right place. Okay. So I would not want we would get to the good stuff as we go into this session, but today is for the interns. I want you guys to really hear from them. Today is us focusing on project management and business analysis interns. So they are the people that are going to present the project they've been working on, and these are very interesting projects that I would love us to really pay attention to. You could learn one or two things from this session, and also if you have any questions along the line, maybe you need to confirm one or two things about the internship from these consultants, then it is the right time to do so. So who are we expecting? Drum rolls. Who are we expecting? We're expecting two very beautiful people today. We have Michael and we have Tolu Lope. Now, Michael is a project management consultant with Amdari, and he would be presenting for us today. And we also have Tolu Lope. She is also a business analyst consultant with Amdari, and I am super, super excited to hear from them. I don't want to spill the beans as to their projects. I want them to start their project, explain from end to end, so we all follow with the process. So who is going first? The first person to give me a thumbs up amongst both of them would start, because I see Michael and I see Tolu on the call. Who are we going first with? Who is ready? Who is ready right now? ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. Okay, so we're going to start with Michael. Michael, I'm going to start presenting now. I'm going to give you the floor. It's your floor right now, okay?
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Osadibe. I'm part of the May cohort for the project management internship. I'm going to try to share my screen right now. Just a second. Okay. All right. So um, we're looking at tax planning and story estimation. So a little bit explanation on that will be given. Tax planning and collaboration on Jira and ClickUp actually. And then the project budget would actually be, shown to you guys as well. Okay, so just a little overview on the green energy solution. So green energy was actually founded in 2005 with a singular mission to provide sustainable and innovative renewable energy solutions. The company started as a small startup focusing on solar power technology, but over the years it has expanded its portfolio to include wind, geothermal, and energy storage systems. Green Energy Solution has grown into one of the leading players in the renewable energy sector, providing large-scale infrastructure solutions to both residential and industrial clients. Their core service and products, Green Energy Solution specializes in designing, installing, and maintaining renewable energy systems, including solar, wind, and energy storage solutions. The company also offers energy efficiency consulting services and smart grid integration to help clients optimize energy usage and reduce cost. So that's a little bit about them. Now, where do we come in? They are having a business challenge. So the company is facing a significant challenge in the task planning and story point estimation for its large scale renewable energy infrastructure projects. These projects often involve complex coordination between various teams, engineering, procurement, legal, regulatory, and operations. As the company expands into offshore wind farms and large solar installations, it is struggling to accurately estimate project timelines and resources, leading to delays and cost overrun. All right, so several operational factors contribute to this issue. So they're having problem in terms of coordination between their teams, the project teams. So they're very just different specializations. Different people working together on the project. They're finding it hard tracking. Tracking of the task actually becomes very cumbersome. Changing regulation. The renewable energy sector is heavily regulated, and
Okay,
frequently.
Michael, you're not moving your slides. We are still on the same.
Oh, you can't see it.
Yeah, you've
Sorry,
not
let me.
moved slides yet.
Okay, tell me what slide you can see, please.
Just
Is
number
it the
one.
first one? So the tax
Yes.
line and story point estimation.
Yes.
Okay. I don't. Let me see.
All right. Yeah, you might
Try.
also want to put it in slideshow. I think you should check. Um,
See.
yes, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to try to move from the first page now. Just let me know if is it okay?
Um, have you moved it yet?
Yes, I'm moving it right now. Is it still not working?
I think
No,
you
not
should
yet.
stop sharing. So, hi, Michael. I think you
Yeah.
should stop sharing and reshare because I think your screen is frozen.
Okay. Let me do that. Uh, Try to start all over again. Sorry about that. Uh,
Yes.
is it working now? Sorry, I'll need an audio from you guys. Is it working now?
Yeah, we can see the
Yes.
business challenge, but it's not
Because
on the. It's not looking like the presentation slide.
Sorry, what can you see? Sorry, what can you see? What can you see?
I can
What?
see PowerPoint and the headers.
Okay. I don't know why it's
Yeah, I
doing.
think you should click on there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is it working now?
No, it isn't.
Still not working.
Yeah, but I think you can go ahead because your slides are moving. You can move them now, but
If I don't maximize it, you won't be able to see it properly, though. Is it?
yeah, that's the problem. Or maybe you click on slideshow. I don't know. Besides animations, let's see if that will work.
okay. Michael, do you
Yeah.
want to sort that out? Let's start with Tolu, then you can come back.
Okay. Let me just see if this works. It doesn't
All
work.
right, all right, all right. Let's try it again.
Is it still having the same problem?
It's not up yet, but it should be coming up soon, I guess. You're not sharing yet. Okay. All right. It's back up. It's up now. I can see the agenda slide. So yeah, you're back up. I think you should just go ahead. Let's just have it.
You wanna just view it with the minimal slides? Is that okay? Or is that what
Yeah, yeah. So we don't end up wasting so much time. Yeah.
I'm really sorry about that. Okay.
All right.
All right. So I'm gonna go back to the overview slide. All right. So the business challenge they're actually having right now. See this. All right, so the company is facing a significant challenge in the tax planning and story points estimation for its large-scale renewable energy infrastructure projects. Um, these projects often involve complex coordination between various teams: engineering, procurement, legal, regulatory, and operations. As the company expands into offshore wind farms and large solar installation, it is struggling to accurately estimate project timelines and resources, leading to delays and cost overruns. So several operational factors actually contribute to this. There is a coordination issue with the project team. So with large multidisciplinary teams working on different aspects of the project, task allocation and tracking has become cumbersome. The renewable energy sector is heavily regulated, and frequent changes to local laws and policies affect project timelines. Supply chain challenges. There is a delay in procuring materials and equipment, often due to global supply chain issues and unpredictability of project delivery in terms of the delivery times. The company is struggling to optimally allocate resources as well, in terms of labor, equipment, budgets across multiple projects at different stages. So basically, they are having a real planning problem. Just to summarize it, they're having a planning problem, and the issue of actually getting funds allocated, jobs allocated, and the coordination problem among the project team. So how do we, this is where we come in. So how do we sort this out? I spoke earlier about story point estimation. So in Agile project management, there is a story point estimation, which works in terms of actually comparing. It's a technique which they use to compare the amount of effort actually required, to accomplish one task compared to another task. Though people now kind of consider it as the time, involved in terms of actually getting the job or a task done in a project. And it's actually better to look at it that way because you don't want to get confused with the whole thing. So story point estimation in its main definition is a relative estimation technique used primarily in agile project management to estimate the effort, complexity, and uncertainty involved in completing a user story or task without tying it directly to hours or days. So that's the original definition. But if you're going to look at it in terms of your hours and the effort in which you're going to put into it, that's fine as well. And whenever you're heading into a project, a project team, maybe you get into the job market, you get into a project team, and that is how they work. The advice is better to stick with that rather than actually trying to, explain to them the real story point estimation and its real definition and stuff like that. So what they actually use is called a Fibonacci sequence to actually carry out this estimation. It's the numbers go as 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and 21. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. These numbers are used to show the relative effort required, in terms of actually getting the project or the task, done. So there was an example here I was gonna show. I don't know since you guys are not seeing it. Is it just going to
Well,
be listening to
we're
me then?
the business challenge slide.
Sorry?
We're still on business challenge.
You're still on business challenge. Okay. Uh, okay. Is it okay if I just click it from here and then just keep explaining? I don't know if you can see maybe just a little bit of it rather than actually having the whole slide, maximized. Is it okay if I just explain it right? You're looking at it.
Yes, we
Oh,
should.
okay. All right. So I'll be clicking them one by one, and I'm really sorry about this. I don't know what's wrong with my PC, but all right. So I was explaining about the Fibonacci sequence, which is used to actually estimate the story point estimation. So the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and 21. And these are actually used to show the effort and that you're used to getting, that you used to accomplish a task. They were actually used to measure one task, one task against another. But if you're going to use it at the time in which or the effort in which you use to estimate a task, that's fine as well. So I'll click the next slide. So an example was given here. This is actually more of a tech field kind of work. So we got quite a few tasks here, which is the first one was to create a login page. I think this is for programmers and just trying to weigh out their the relative effort required. So the first task was to create a login page, which was 3. The second one was to implement a password recovery, which was 5 in terms of effort that will be required. The next one is design a user dashboard, which is 8 in terms of effort required. Then the next one is to build a reporting system, which is 13 in terms of effort required. Now, as it says here, the numbers don't represent time directly, but relative effort. So for instance, the dashboard, which is number 8, in terms of effort, is more complex than the login, which is number 3. Okay, so one reason for this is that it's used to actually prioritize tasks as well. So if the team's actually going to meet and then decide what task is easier to complete at a certain point in time. It's better to get things done and marked out like a checklist rather than dwelling on the bigger task for a very long time. So you get the smaller ones done and out of the way, and then you come back to the bigger task. So I'll click the next slide. 1 second. Okay. All right. So this is the Fibonacci sequence and how it's being used. So number 1 is minimal effort. Number 2 is minimum effort as well. Number 3 is a mild effort. Number 5 is moderate effort. Number 8 is severe effort. Number 13 is maximum effort. Now, number 13 is a month, a task that is likely to take you a month to accomplish or to finish. Number 8 would probably take you a week to get done. Number 5 will take you a few days, relative to a week. Number 3 will take you a day to actually get completed. Number 2 will take you a few hours, and number 1 will just take you a few minutes. So whichever way you want to use this Fibonacci sequence, either in terms of minimum effort, days, hours, that's actually fine. So there's no problem with that. So how do we encourage collaboration using ClickUp? Collaboration was one of the problems which Green Energy Solution was having. They have a diverse specialization of workforce, people working together, and what they are finding hard now, they are finding it difficult to actually estimate the the duration of task. There's problem of collaboration between them, finding it hard to actually track task, timelines. So how do we solve that problem? I think when a project manager comes in, one of the things we actually look at is the root cause of of what the company is going through. So whenever a project is presented to you, the first thing is to actually, go to the root cause of it, try to get the root cause of it. So that's where the data gathering, requirement gathering comes into play. You find out the present situation as is. I think in most tech field, they find out the as is at the moment, and then they're looking for, as a project manager, you come in to find, to get them to to be state, So the problem they are having right now, we've actually noted that down, and we're trying to see how we can help them solve that problem with Jira and ClickUp. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next slide. Sorry guys, I'm really sorry about this. I was hoping the presentation would go smoothly, but yeah. So another topic we'll be looking at is the project budget. Okay, but let me just go first to Jira right now, Jira and ClickUp, and show you guys how we can, actually use those collaboration tools to, to solve the problem. Let me see if I can. Okay, so I have a ClickUp board right here. If I don't know if anyone can see, just let me know.
No, you're still sharing your slides.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Just stop sharing and share another tab, or you just share your entire screen if you want.
Okay, 1 second. Top screen. This is on a different browser. Sorry, can you see it now? Can you see the ClickUp?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's better. Okay. So I've added all my tasks. I've added all my tasks on ClickUp. This is ClickUp. This is the interface for the ClickUp the page. If you were going to add a task right now, you just click on Add Task. I'll just try to run through this. Okay, so we're adding a task right now. I just want to get this shown to you guys. So it's quite easy, and we're trying to, let's say, data cleaning. Now let's click Create Task. Okay, I'll go on my list. So data cleaning is right here. Okay, so if I click on that right now, should bring up a window. All right. So you have your task. You can assign your task to whoever is on your team. I'll click on that right here. Assignee. That. Okay, so let me assign that to myself, Michael. Me. Okay. You're going to put in the start and due dates. I'm going to pick a random date. So today is the 22nd. Okay, and let's say this is going to last just a day. Let me just put it on. Let me say 25 because it runs through the weekend. Okay, so it's starting today, it's ending on Monday. Data cleaning shouldn't take that long, but the priority, you can set a priority level. You have your urgent, your high, your normal, and your low. I'm going to put that on normal. Okay. Your time estimates, let's just say 2 days. Let's put 2 hours is fine. 2 hours. It shouldn't take long to actually get that done. Okay. And okay, so it's going to tell you add a brief description. data cleaning to ensure adequate data. So let's say decision making is the reason why we're cleaning the data. Okay, so it's gonna you have uh adding subtask. You can add a subtask to your task. So let's say spell check. Cool. So go through your cells, go through Excel and so go through Excel and make sure. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna save that. So that's one of the
Okay.
subtasks added.
Okay, thank you. You have 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes left. You do know that your colleague is also going to present, so you don't need to go through the nitty gritties. Do you
Okay.
understand?
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
just
I'll just try. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. People would
All right.
also have questions, so would also have to do that too. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. No problem. No problem. All right. Just clicking on the list view. Okay. So let's say you have a task. This is one of the tasks: conduct energy demand and resource potential analysis. Clicking on that, you can see it's been assigned to somebody. Okay, you know the duration, the subtask, and if you come to the right here, you can see that I've added a comment. So you can always add a comment. They're having the issue of collaboration between the teams. So I just added the comment here. You can add a comment to any of the subtasks. Okay, so how are you doing? Kindly, keep me updated within 2 days uh, on this task, every 2 days. Just let me know how this task is going. So this is one way to make sure that your teammates actually, are aware. You can put their email, sorry, their name right. They just put @ and you can type in their name, and they would get that notification in their emails and also be able to, reply back to you. So that should help, in terms of actually, knowing what their job is, how long a task, should take, how to communicate with you, and it's available to everyone. Everyone's name will be on the list, for that, in the project. The task you guys are working on, they would have a start time, a deadline for it, when to get that completed. So that should, help everyone in the team, just be on one page. Okay. So you said I have 3 minutes. I don't know. Do you want me to? I don't know. Let me just run through the slide. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna show the budget because we didn't have time to run.
Hi, are you speaking?
Project budget.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I wasn't hearing you before now.
Sorry, can you hear me? Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Okay, can you see my screen? I'm showing the project budget right now.
Yes, we can see that too.
Oh, task, you're going to
Okay,
have the list of tasks. Sorry. Hello?
yeah, you went off for a couple of seconds.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I don't know what's going on. All right. So this is the project budget. You're going to have the project name, the project sponsor, and the date. Okay. And then the task, all the task. Okay. Your description of the task. Okay. And the status of the task, if it's in progress, on what you're going to be looking at is these items right here. So you're actually comparing your actual with your planned. Okay. So we have labor. You're looking at your labor per hour, and the price per unit. Okay. So that is going to be multiplied to give you your total labor hours, how much it's going to cost you, your material per unit, and the price per unit as well be multiplied to give you your total materials. And then you have your travel, equipment, fixed cost, miscellaneous. Okay, so all these are added to give you your order total. All these are classified as orders. Okay, you just sum that up and you should get your order totals. Okay, so initially before the project started, this column here is your budget. This is what we estimated that we're going to be spending. For example, £1,000, £1,000 at this point. But we ended up having an actual spend of 3,040. Okay, how do we get this? You actually add up your labor total, your material total, and other totals. Okay, that should give you your actual spend, what you spent so far. And once you deduct that from your estimated project budget, at the moment we're running at a deficit, so you have 2,040 in deficit. But those are the items in which you'll be looking at, and each of them are taken to the end of the project life cycle. You're looking at the moment we have a positive value, initially starting as a deficit, but we have a positive value. So our budget in total was 35,884. And then we have the actual spend is 31,885. So we have 3,998.40 as our balance at the moment.
All right. Great.
Yeah.
Thank
Sorry, I don't know if I'm out of time.
Yes, Michael. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Really sorry
we
about
have,
that.
yeah, it's all right. We have two presenters that are going to come up to present. So you're the first, and we don't want to, take so much time for the next person.
Sure.
Okay. I thought was that everything? Do you have like the final recommendations from the project so that we can just take the next person and take questions after?
Yeah, well, I didn't go through all the slide, just explanation on the collaboration tool and then the budget, but I have to run through the budget and just show you guys the budget. So it doesn't really carry on beyond that, but it's just the main point that should solve green energy's solution, the company's problems, and the collaboration and that that we're having in their business challenge. So yeah, so yeah, I don't want to take up much of your time, but
All right. I don't know if anyone has any questions. We'll still come back to questions, but thank you so much for your presentation. We're going to go to the next consultants. Then we'll take general questions for any other person that has questions, right? Thank you so much, Michael. We'll still come back to questions. Let's just run through with Tolu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me
All
stop.
right. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Tolu, you can have the floor.
All right. Thank you so much, Victory. Thank you, Michael. Just very quickly, let me click on this. Okay, please confirm you guys can see my screen and you can see it as a presentation slide.
Yeah, you can see it.
All right, so this project, my name is Tolulope Adekunja Ajibogun, firstly, and for the purpose of this presentation, you guys can call me Tolu. So I'm going to be presenting a project on integrating a centralized customer feedback system for Zara Escapes. So very quickly, I'm going to touch on who Zara Escapes is. Zara Escapes is a mid-sized luxury travel and hospitality group. They've been in business for 12 years and they are based in Santorini, Greece. And they currently have about 20 beachfront properties across the Aegean Islands and Mediterranean coast. So they're known for a lot of things. They're known for a lot of good things, but of course, they're also an award-winning company for their customer service. They have a personalized guest experience, eco-friendly operations, and they attract and still attracting over 100,000 guests annually, primarily from Western Europe and North America. So we can see that our client has a strong reputation for excellence. So why are we here? Why am I as a BA speaking on Zara Escapes? Basically, they have a business challenge, and one of which is the fragmented feedback channels. Currently, their feedback, how they take feedback from their guests is scattered across multiple channels. They have feedback from TripAdvisor, from Google, from their emails, and in person. So they don't have a unified system to capture their insights. And this fragmented feedback channels has resulted into further issues, further challenges for the business by having limited trend analysis. So there is no way to actually capture insights from the feedback patterns. It's making it very difficult to identify and address recurring service gaps across their 20 properties. They also have the issue of delayed response time, because I mean, if you have a lack of real-time feedback aggregation, it would result into delayed response time. You're not on top of business, you're not on top of issues as it comes. So yeah. Then the last one is the poor visibility and follow-up. There's limited visibility into guest satisfaction metrics. And this is particularly for the executives, for the property managers. They don't have that visibility into the guest satisfaction metrics to know, okay, how property A is doing, how property B is doing in terms of guest satisfaction. And there's no structured follow-ups process after feedback submission. So the guest is practically left in dark after they submit their feedback. So what are we going to be achieving with this project? What do we aim to achieve? One of which is to aggregate diverse feedback. We want to aggregate the feedback into one system. We want to have that single system that would have all the feedback. So we're not saying clients cannot or guests cannot drop their feedback via TripAdvisor, via the multiple channels. But what we are saying is the interface for Zara Escapes is going to be in one single system. So there's going to be use of dashboards to, have that overview of, oh yes, these are the amount of feedback that got in from TripAdvisor, just to be able to be on top of things, to be able to put a metric and, measure how this feedback, how it's gotten, what percentage is negative, what percentage is positive. So the second objective is to enable real-time response. As a customer service agent, you want to get the feedback coming, you want to respond to that feedback as it's getting to your desk, and we're going to be implementing a notification systems and dashboards for immediate visibility and action on guest concerns. So very quickly, I'm just going to run through to the next page. So for this project, one of the things I worked on was the project scope, so as to mitigate scope creep. We don't want to have things that are not defined before we start this project. So in this project, what we're going to be doing will be assessing the current feedback limitations, which we're currently talking about. We're also going to identify the stakeholders and map out how we're going to be engaging each stakeholder. This was done using the stakeholder matrix to identify which stakeholder is very key to this project, and also to identify, using the power interest grid, who has what power and how a stakeholder, for instance, has high power or high influence, high interest rather, in the project. We'll also have a detailed functional and non-functional requirements carefully set out on what the system is going to be doing, how the system is going to be behaving, and then end-to-end feedback workflows design. We're going to be, you see some of the designs, the wireframes, the as these process maps, and the future states process maps as we go. So what we're not going to be doing in this project is software development implementation. We're not going to be doing external end user training. It's not within our purview. So we're not going to be doing ongoing maintenance and support, no integration with non-essential third-party systems. So for the legacy system that they have, we're not going to be migrating any data to what we are doing. So these are the things we're not going to be doing. So as a BA, my role was to identify the stakeholders that are key to the success of this project. And these are the stakeholders that we're going to be working with on this project, which we already worked with. So for the guests, we know that they're very, as people will say, your guest is king. So in the hospitality industry, this is very, very true. The guests are end users who provide feedback on their stay and experience. We want to know how their stay went, like how did they enjoy the ambience? Did they enjoy the services? What exactly did it for them, and what didn't do anything for them? So they're going to be doing that. Their interest is in responsive service and feeling heard. They don't just want to submit their feedback and that's it, dead end. They don't want that. The front desk, which in terms of concierge, receptionist, they're going to be the first point of contact who log guest issues, feedback, and inquiries. They want real-time tools for immediate response. It will make their job easier. It will make them to know what they're saying to the guests. Oh yes, this is the reason why you have this complaint. Or yes, we're working on this. They need that real-time tool to better work seamlessly. The IT and development. I love this guy so much because they're like the backbone of the project. That's how I like to look at it, because you're going to be supporting the implementation and integration of this entire project. For the customer service, this is a very centralized department in Zara Escapes. They handle complaints and inquiries, and they require a centralized trackable feedback for quick resolution. Then we have the executive team. In this executive team, we can see there that our CEO is the project sponsor and COO. They need strategic insights on guest satisfaction across all properties. So what they want is an eagle eye vision into all their 20 properties to be able to monitor guest satisfaction. And for the property managers, they oversee operations at individual properties, and they need visibility into their own specific property. The property they're managing, they want that visibility into their own property to see the feedback and trends. So we did this project in an agile environment, and one of the tools we used for the requirement gathering is the user story. User story is very important because it helps us to outline who the user is, what their function is, and the benefit they aim to achieve. One of the user stories, I didn't write the user stories here to see how it's written. It's always written as a user or as a guest. I want to show that. But the summary of it all is, for the guest, they want to submit feedback digitally so that they can receive confirmation and be informed when feedback is addressed. Front desk is they want to log guest feedback. They want to track status and flag urgent issues for prompt attention and action. The customer service also wants to view all feedback in one place. They want to categorize based on sentiments, and they want to assign to departments and track resolution timelines. The property manager wants to monitor all field feedback in one dashboard, receive alerts for negative feedback, and generate trend reports. So we have this for stakeholders here because they are actively involved in the process flow. That's why we have this for stakeholders here. for the current state analysis, right? So I was able to come up with this analysis by understanding and having a walk through the current process with the key stakeholders. We engage the stakeholders with interview sessions and workshop sessions. So we asked some questions on how the current process is. So they walked me through the end-to-end process of their current process. So first of which is the fragmented feedback channels. I mean, if you've been listening to me speak, you understand what this means by now, that their feedback is scattered across multiple channels, both online and in person. Then the customer service team manually collects and process feedback, whether good or bad, whether positive or negative. There is no confirmation or follow-up to guests about their feedback. There's lack of structured tracking or escalation procedures. And also, the property managers don't know what's going on in their property, which is very bad for leadership. They don't have that insight. They have limited visibility as to, okay, this is the reason why this is recurring. Why does this client or guest keep complaining? Or why is X number of clients or guests complaining about the same issues? They don't have that insight. Then there's multiple non-integrated systems that is causing maintenance issues. So the current fragmented approach is limiting Zara Escapes' ability to improve their services and retain guests effectively. Of course, if I'm not satisfied, I will stop using, I will drop a bad review online, and I will stop coming to the to your property, to the hotel, and just go to the nearest one or a better one online, you know. And okay, so I was able to map the current process using Lucid Chat. This is the first one, the online feedback process. So I don't know if you guys can really see what is here, but it just basically walks us through the start of the process through to the end. So the guest is the one that starts the process. The guest will initiate feedback via online channel, TripAdvisor, Google, survey, or emails. There is no consistent channel. Feedback is scattered across multiple channels. That's one pain point. Then when they initiate this feedback, it goes to the customer service team. The customer service manually gathers feedback from various online sources. So the customer service is actively logging into one platform to get the feedback from that platform, to log out of that platform, get to the next platform. You know, it's very tiresome. It makes their job very stressful. The manual process, and it's time consuming. Of course, it's going to be error prone because it's manual. So they check it and they review the feedback. If it's positive, it goes to the end. But if it is negative, they will log the issue manually. So if we look through this current process, we'll see that there's a lot of manual processes that can be easily automated. And that is why we are here. That is why we worked on this project, to automate and reduce the manual processes in their current feedback system. So I'm just going to go next. I don't want to take too much of our time. Sorry. Yeah, so this is the in-person as well. It's almost the same thing, but I differentiated it to have a real look into what exactly the in-person, the online process flow, how it looks. And basically it's the same thing. The guests will initiate in person. They are staying at the property. They walk up to the concierge. They say, "Oh, my bed is shaking. The AC is too much." Or there's no hot water in my room. Or yes, the service is great. The food was awesome. But they're saying it with mouth, and we are unable to track it. We're unable to say, okay, X number of guests stayed at the property today. This was the amount of negative feedback that was generated. This was the amount of positive feedback that was generated. So very quickly, I'm going to move. Yes, this is the part where I love the future state. We've been talking about the current state, how the system is not the best for Zara Escapes, how it's affecting their customer retention, their customer satisfaction. So we're going to be automating a few things. The feedback submission, when the guests submit via mobile, website, or email, or using QR code, we've introduced the QR code. here or verbally, the system would acknowledge receipt and will assign a unique ID. So when the system acknowledges receipt, they immediately confirm receipt to the guest, which solves the problem of the guest being in the dark or just hitting a dead end. Then there's the point of categorization and prioritization. So we want the system to automatically tag by sentiment. When the system sees that, okay, this is a keyword, topic, and urgency, it will trigger a real-time alert to the respective departments. They're supposed to jump on that issue and work with it. The assignment and resolution. We want customer service to be able to assign to departments, because we saw that there's no structured escalation process. We want the customer service to be able to assign and escalate to departments that are responsible for each task. The resolution updates should be logged. We want to have an audit trail. We want to know how long an issue stayed on an agent's desk, an IT person's desk. We want to see all of these things. After the SLA has been defined, we want to know the unresolved issues that that were not escalated or that were not actioned and eventually breached the SLA. The guest notification and analytics. We want the system to notify guests of resolution. Oh yes, Kitty, we've resolved your issue, everything is fine. And when they resolve these issues, we want the guests to also confirm within a specified amount of time that the issue has actually been resolved. We don't want it to just be on our end, say, oh, we've resolved and that's the end of it. And still the same issue, the client or the guest is unhappy and says, oh no, they never did anything, they just sent me an email. That's not what we want here. So the dashboards will provide insights on trends, satisfaction, and department performance. Right, this is the to-be processed map. It has the in-person and the online process flow within it. And you see that the sticky notes by the side are what the system must do. So yes, the guest will be the one starting this process as well. Guest will initiate feedback process, whether online or in person. If it's online, it goes to the right, and then they will log into Zara Escapes website or via external platform. They will leave their feedback online, and then it goes to the customer service agent. They will receive this in real time. You see that there's a difference into the previous process where the guest will log, there's no confirmation, there is nothing, and they're left in the dark. The customer service would have to do plug and play. They would have to log into a system, log out, log into another system. No, now immediately the guest is logging their complaints online or their feedback online. The customer service agent picks it up. He sees it on his dashboard, which is very good. He reduces the response time. He makes it ASAP. For my Gen Zs on the call, ASAP. As soon as possible, you pick it up and you action it. I'm sure if you guys want the slides, it will be available. But let me just walk through. I'm trying to, yeah. Now, this is the ERD diagram. I designed this entity relationship diagram so as to show the relationship between the data sets. We have the guests, we have the property, we have feedback, and it's very important that we have all of this because it helps us to show how Zara Escapes data, how it will be stored, how it's going to be stored in the system, how we're going to be, so that they don't have any data loss, they don't have any duplications. So we see here, for example, that the guest here, the guest can have many feedback entries. So it's one to many. The guest can have many feedback entries. But the same feedback cannot have many guests. So you can see that it's just showing basically how this data is going to relate with each other, the relationship between it, how we're going to, how we're going to set the rules for how the data will be stored, how we would not have duplication across the data set, and how it will be stored going forward. So it helps for accurate data analysis for the company when they are analyzing their data. Now to the wireframes. These are one of the diagrams just to give our stakeholders, the executives, a feel of what the system is going to look like. For the wireframe, this is the guest's interface. This is what the guests will see when they log into Zara Escapes website. They're going to see all of these, and they can click on the feedback here to drop their feedback. And when they click on this, they are taken to this screen right here that says feedback. I would love to provide a feedback where contact customer care directly, submit privacy request. What was the primary purpose of your website visits? And they can drop their star rating here. They submit. We don't want something complicated. We want something that is easy to use and it's easy to navigate for our guests. Next is here, we can see Matt Stewart here is the customer service agent. They're able to see how many open tickets they have, what the pending ticket is, the resolved tickets, you're seeing it. They're able to also see the customer satisfaction rate, open versus resolved. And this is just a feel of what the system would look like. It might not eventually look like this exactly, but it guides the development team, the stakeholders to understand, okay, this is what we're going to get. This is what the system is going to be doing for us, which is great because they don't currently have this. This is for the property manager. Excuse me. So the property manager is able to see their property name, the location. They're able to understand the revenue trend, the occupancy trend. They're able to see. I'm sorry. They're able to see where the sources of when people book their properties, where they are booking from. Is it Airbnb? Is it Booking.com? Is it directly from their site? And they have their key performance indicators here. They have the guest feedback. Can you see here that they have urgency tags here, the low priority, the critical? So this gives everyone that needs to action the critical feedback. They've seen the tag, they know that it's critical, and they understand the SLA attached to that type of feedback. They run with it and they action it. So it simplifies things for everybody. Okay, okay. So now to the data analysis part. We looked into the data that we currently have with Zara Escapes, and we're able to see that, come up with a Power BI dashboard, a reporting dashboard for Zara Overview. This is the Zara Overview page. It shows the total number of guests that Zara Escapes have, total number of feedback, the average resolution hours, the percentage for the resolution rate, and the overall average rating. So it just gives us an insight. I've been saying insight, minimal insight. This is what it does. We were able to design this using Power BI dashboard. We analyzed the data using Excel and then visualize this using Power BI. So we can see here that January 2025 started very great, and the total feedback by year and quarter and month started great, and we can see it took a dip. No, it went. I'm sorry, it didn't start great in January 2025. They were like 0.50, and then they went up in May, then came back down, probably mid-June or thereabout. And then the average rating by year, they were up here, maybe 3.7. And they took a dip by 2025. So this would help us, ask the right questions. Why? It would help us, the property managers, the executives, to ask, why did this happen? What happened? Why is this gap occurring? And then the total responses by resolution status we're able to see the percentage of the resolved feedback depending. We can see here that the resolved is 80.13% than the pending. The pending is 19.88%. And we can see where we get the feedback from survey, from TripAdvisor, email, and Google. This is the property performance. This is for the property manager, and of course for the executives. They're able to see the number of guests, the total feedback, the average resolution hours, the guests by nationality. If they want to tailor anything, or if they want to just add a special touch, they're able to have that insight, and be on top of their game. And we can see the average rating by location by star rating, rating by location as well. We can see the total feedback that each location has, and then the average rating by nationality. We can build a sentiment or a trend around, oh, the people from Kofu, by their nationality, they rate 3.73. They usually rate 3.73. We can just build a sentiment around that. It might not be accurate, but I mean, we can come up with something. Then for the feedback resolution and response time, we're able to see the total feedback, average resolution hours, also the result feedback by month. We can see that the result feedback by month is the month of May. The highest is the month of May, and the lowest was December. Chukedi would ask the same questions again. Why? That's why data is very important. It helps us to make informed decisions, right? Resolution status by date submitted as well, and total responses by response time minutes. So very quickly, let me take you to the cost benefit analysis. Right, so this analysis evaluates the implementation of a comprehensive feedback management system for Zara Escapes. The future state objectives have been highlighted here. We have the automated feedback collection and routing, real-time notifications and alerts, SLA-driven response management, which is the service level agreement-driven response management, integrated escalation workflows, comprehensive reporting and analytics, and a unified customer service platform. Don't know where this goes down. All right, so we recommended 4 different tools. I mean, from Zendesk to ServiceNow. So Zendesk is a user-friendly, it's scalable, it's a robust app actually as well. Freshdesk is also same, but it's cost-effective and it's used for small to medium teams. Right, Salesforce is enterprise grade. I would say Salesforce and ServiceNow, they are both enterprise grade. They are good for, you know, an organization that, you know, it's large, for complex, for IT-driven operations. They are good for that. But for the purpose of, you know, it's a mid-sized project, and we're just going to look through the cost analysis to see what is going on, the cost, the return on investment, and we calculated the return on investment by a 3-year projection plan. So for Zendesk, we can see that the first year would cost $86,000 to $99,000, and the second year, because we're not implementing again, we're just maintaining, will cost $66,000 per year. So for year 2, cost 66, and for year 3, 66. 3-year cost 218 to 231. That would be 231 will be the most of the amount that we'll be spending. So for the 3-year benefit, what we're going to be getting is $1.5 million. The ROI is explained below here. So what we have is the benefit minus the cost, then divided by the cost. You will get your ROI. So we can see that Zendesk is 549%. That's for the least, for the highest amount, for the highest cost, we'll be having a 549% ROI, return on investment. Then for the Freshdesk Pro, this has the highest ROI. The cost is, of course, lower than Zendesk, and the benefit is also 1.5 million, but because the cost is lower, you get a higher ROI, which is 643 at the least, 643% return on investment. That's a very good one. For Salesforce Service Cloud, they are expensive. Of course, they are enterprise grade. The first year implementation cost and maintenance is going to cost $125,000 to $145,000 dollars, and the ROI is 362 at the least. And
so we have 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes. I'm rounding up very quickly. So yeah, we can see the list ROI is ServiceNow. Very expensive. Will be costing about $120,000 to maintain per year, and then the least ROI is 250% ROI. I mean, these are all good depending on what Zara Escapes wants to. If they have the budget for this, is good. They can go for the enterprise grade tools or the systems, but all of them will deliver what we want. And so since Zara Escapes is a mid-sized luxury hotel group with 20 plus properties, the best fit would be a platform with streamlined and simple UI for staff, even for the guests. a platform that can be deployed into their operations very quickly, and a platform that is affordable compared to Salesforce, a similar platform. A platform with excellent integration with marketing and reporting insights. That would be best. And I think for this project, I suggest and highly recommend Zendesk, because they're not only getting a good ROI, they'll be getting money for value. They'll be getting value for money rather. They'll be getting value for money. They'll be getting everything they need to action and to mitigate the current business challenge. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was actually very detailed, if I'm being honest. That was very detailed. I don't know if anyone has any questions. We only have like 5-10 minutes to be here. We already spent so much time. Thank you so much, Tolu, for that presentation. Does anyone have a question for her? For me, that was actually pretty clear, and I loved that presentation. Does anyone have a question? I'll check the chat in case anyone dropped. Success says, yay, go Tolu. Okay, that's actually pretty nice. I'm pretty sure. Okay. All right. Okay, Olamide says this is really good and well thought out. Okay. All right. Thank you so much to Tolu and also Michael that presented today. Okay. So I think some people want to speak. Let me give everyone host permissions. But you can raise your hand if you have something to say, so that I give you yeah. Try speaking. You should be able to unmute.
Yeah. Hello,
Right.
Tolu.
Yeah,
Hi,
I can hear you.
good evening.
Okay, all right. That was a beautiful, I don't know if I should call it a lecture, but I only have one question here. The budget aspect, who
Yes,
prepares that? Is it the business analyst that prepares that, or is it probably a different personnel or a different department that prepares the budget? Because you're talking about the ROI, like, I know it's like trying to prove to them the option they should choose.
yes.
So the part of the ROI, who prepares that aspect? Is it the business analyst?
Yes,
Or maybe it's the finance department?
No, it's the business analyst that prepares that. That's why as a BA, we need to carry out research on, if you're recommending a tool, it must generate some sort of benefits for the company as well. Financial benefits is one of it. They will not be investing in a solution that will be costing them really. And you need to just justify why they should go for which solution you're recommending. That's why you don't also just recommend one solution. You give them multiple, give them the ROI, the benefits in terms of operations and the benefits in terms of finance.
Okay, so it means,
yeah.
It means as a business analyst, you also have to know that financial calculation aspect.
Yes, so it's not always accurate to the T, right? That's why there's a range. You see that the cost benefit has like range, because it's just based on research. Some of these solutions, you see them as off the shelf. You're able to go to their website and to see, okay, how much it's going to cost based on what you need. You're able to now project that cost to these stakeholders, to the management. But it's not always I won't say it's not always accurate. It is accurate, but it's not always cast in stone. Let me say that way. It's not cast in stone.
It's not exact.
Yeah.
No, go on, sorry.
Yeah, it's subject to change, because if you're listening to Michael, when he showed the breakdown, the cost and what they use, they projected a cost for the project initially, but at the end of the day, they spent lesser than that. So for us, at this point, we're saying, okay, this is the cost, this is the benefit, and this is an analysis that the BA has to do and present to the stakeholders. It's left to the stakeholders to make their suggestion and go with which tool they think is okay for them based on their budget for the project.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for clarifying, Tolu. So I just have, let me see, 5, 10 minutes for any other person that you're looking to gain real world work experience in any of these career paths, either data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, SOC, ethical hacking, GRC, or project management. Amdari is the right place for you. So you probably understand at this point in time that experience is one thing that recruiters they don't take lightly, right? If you're trying to transition into the tech space, most especially, they would require you to have some form of experience at least, so that they're going to be sure of the fact that you'll be able to deliver optimally on your job. Okay. And Amdari provides you with that environment, that risk-free environment where you get to test run, you work on projects, you gain actual experience working on these different projects across different tools. And these are projects that similar that are like actual business problems in the form of projects. Every project has a timeline, and you're also working in the capacity of either a data science consultant, data analyst consultant. You're actually working as a consultant with Amdari. Okay, so I'm quickly going to run you guys through what you're expecting coming on board with the program. So you're going to be working on real industry-based projects that would actually expose you, and let me just say projects that would kind of stretch you a bit depending, right? So from the you start from more entry level project, and you get to the point where you're seeing yourself working on more should I say complex projects, right? And also you'll be working in a cross-functional team depending on what is required of you. Some projects might require you to work with external people, like maybe you're a business analyst, you get to work with the data analyst, the project manager. Some projects are like that actually. Now you're also going to be gaining experience across multiple industries. We don't just limit you to one sector. You work on projects in fintech, you work on projects across healthcare, logistics, and supply chain. Now, all these experiences tie down to the fact that we do not want to limit you to one career path. Suleiman says, nice presentation to do. To do that, take your flowers. All right. So you would also be working across different roles, depending, right? So when we say different roles, let me just use the data analyst career path, for example. You'd see something like you see a job description saying health analyst, data systems engineer, data analyst, logistics and supply chain analyst. These are all data analysis roles, but in different domains, right? So because you're working on these different career paths, you would also be working across these different roles, okay? And you're working with a team, right? You could ask, I don't know if any other person has a question for Tolu, but if you were to ask her, she'll let you know that she wasn't the only one on this project. It was actually a team collaboration work. Am I right? Just give me a thumbs up, Tolu. You're the person in the internship. So confirm. All right, thank you. All right. And also you get to work across multiple tech stacks. So if you were paying attention to Michael's presentation and also to Lou's presentation, you get to understand that they were not just working with a particular technology or the same kind of tech stacks, obviously. So you'll be working across multiple tech stack, and these technologies are relevant to your domain. We don't take you back to ancient times, right? You'll be working with tools that are currently in demand in your particular career path, okay? And now the essence of all this is to ensure that you get increased confidence, so that when you have an interview tomorrow, you will be able to clearly communicate with the recruiter and let them know exactly the kind of experience that you have. That's also another reason we have sessions like this, so that you already start practicing how to communicate, um, how to share your experience to people, and just how to build that confidence, so that when you get out there, you'll just feel more confident as a project manager or as a business analyst. And this is one major feedback we get from our interns. Oh, when I got into the program, I wasn't so confident, but right now I feel some level, like I feel there's a major difference, right? It is usually something that we hear a lot. And also you get to network with people in the internship, we have people across different regions within the program. I mean, when you guys were introducing yourself, you could see that you have, even on this call, right, you have different people across different regions. So you don't know where your next opportunity is going to come from. I like to say that. So in addition to the project-based experience, we also help you, we make you employable basically. So what Amdari really does for you is just to shape you into that candidate, that perfect candidate. We mold you and make you ready for the job market, right? Revamping your CV and reviewing your CV is a very important aspect of this, because we expect you to start getting interviews at some point. You will be applying. We encourage you to apply at some point during the program. So your CV and your LinkedIn is going to be revamped and optimized by your employability specialist on the program. So one person is actually in charge of that. And I mean, last time we had this session, one of our interns said that his CV was, the way his CV was packaged, he would even employ himself, right? So that's also what's going to happen. All those gaps in your CV, all the places that you're not clearly explaining your experience and all that, it's going to be fixed up with your employability specialist. You also have, you're going to be having access to mentorship sessions, one-on-one sessions with actual people in your field with actual experience. They will be sharing they'll be sharing their experience you can learn from, right? They've made most of the mistakes that you're yet to make, and you don't need to make those mistakes because they made it already. Instead, you can just learn from them. Also, your career coaches, you have mentors that would guide you, like people that would actually guide you on this project. You have your team lead that would also be able to reach out to you if you face challenge. There's someone that you can actually ask questions and also reach out to. Also, we prep you for interviews, ensure that you're well prepared. You get to have sessions where you're learning the needs and your nitty and gritty of how to, different approaches, the sit approach during an interview. What are you going to say? How do you explain yourself? How do you even introduce yourself? These are different things that you're going to learn while you're on the program. And if you land a job while you're on the program, we also offer you on the job support. If you are currently trying to apply for jobs and you need a work reference letter, Amdari offers that. Dari is registered in the UK and we're also registered in Canada. So if you're looking for work experience, maybe UK work experience in any of these career paths, then Amdari is the right place for you. Okay, so this job reference letter, you can request for it up until 2 years after you're done with the program. If you're done after 2 years and you're like, oh, I want to take a break, after maybe 6 months, you're ready to start applying to jobs again, you could always reach out. Even if a company still reaches out to us, we would still be able to provide reference on your behalf. So we have success stories of some of our consultants that have actually been able to land jobs while on the program, like Francis. Francis got a job with Deloitte in the UK, and he got this through the Amdari Work Experience internship. I think Brown is his instructor. I believe Brown is also for, I don't know, is it, let me see, Michael, is Brown your team? Is Brown your mentor or your career coach?
Yeah, he is. But he's
All right. I believe it's just project management. So yes, we have Francis got a job with Deloitte, and I think at one of these sessions, Francis shared his experience. We have a lot more success stories. We have Dora. Dora got an offer as a compliance analyst in the UK during her work experience, and when she got it, she actually shared with her employability specialist. Amina was the one that revamped her CV, and she got an offer of she got a job with the offer of 50k pounds, and she was super excited about it. Lanray also got a job as a business analyst in the UK during his work experience. All this happened within the program actually. We also have Teisayo got a job as a data scientist in the UK while he was on the program during the work experience internship. So like I mentioned, this program basically just shapes you, like we literally mold you for the job market, because we know what they are looking for. We know what these guys want. They just want to be sure that you can get the job done. That is literally it. Okay, so Damilola got a job as a senior. She got a senior role in procurement in the UK before she was done with the program. What did she do? She joined the program, started working on projects, built her portfolio, and she documented the whole process, right? So when she was applying to jobs, she was applying with her CV and she kept putting out these applications till she was able to land what she was looking for. So we have a lot more people like this person. This person is in cybersecurity. Christopher is his mentor, right? So he got a job, his first cybersecurity role while he was on the program, and he shared that he was super excited about it when he got his job. We have a lot more we have a lot more people that have been able to get their jobs. Like, okay, Emeka is one of our team leads, and one of his interns got a job as a data analyst. And the funny part about it is that the project, that interview came quite he wasn't entirely ready for it, but he had one of his projects that he was so confident in, because he presented that project in a project showcase like this. He was so confident in that project, and since the interview was kind of impromptu, he just used that to sell himself, and he was able to get his first he was able to get his job while with that project. Okay, now, and I wish we had a lot more time. We would go over all of this. And aside from people that have actually been able to get either job offers or even people that have been able to get jobs during the program, a major feedback that most of our interns have really gotten back to us with is the fact that they have just experienced a different level in terms of their confidence. They know how to use their tools better technical skills, better communication skills, and just an improved way of doing things around this particular career path. You understand your role in a more practical sense. That is what we're trying to achieve for you. So now we have a cohort open for the 6th of September. So if you're trying to get into the program and you're not here already, you're like still thinking about it, you want to come on board, trust me, it's the best time for you to do so. Our next cohort is on the 6th of September. And what does it take for you to join this cohort? I'm going to be sharing that soon. So we have the in all these different career paths I mentioned: data analytics, data science, data engineering. If you fit into any of these, then you are already you can actually come on board with the program. Okay, so you have a 3 months work experience program for £500, right? And because of the discount that we are running, you get to pay £390. Now, the best part about it is that if you're going for this particular work experience that is about to start on the 6th of September, you're sure of getting an extra 1 month. That is, instead of doing 3 months, you're actually going to be doing 4 months for the price of £390. Now, if you can't make a one-off payment of £390, you have the opportunity to split it in installments. Okay, so you're splitting it over 3 installments of 130. So before you're even done with the 4 months work experience, you would have been done making your payment. And another reason this is even in place is because if you start and you're not feeling the program, right, you could always decide not to pay for the next month and say you're not doing it again. But I can tell you that you would not want to make that decision. So my colleague is going to drop the link in the chat. If you've been considering this, you're trying to get on board and you just needed a little bit more convincing on whether this program is for you or not, you go ahead and enroll for the program in the chat. Now, if you need more clarity, I can't share so many things right now because we've already spent so much time. The session is supposed to end by 9:30. Okay, so if you need to get more clarity, you want to book a more clear, like you need more clarity on how to get on board, what it all entails and all of that, you want to see more from the internship, right? Book a clarity call. The link is in the chat. You could get to ask questions during that clarity call. A professional is going to reach out to you and you'll be able to get more information about how to get on board with the program during that call. So I don't know if any other person has a question either for any of the consultants, or you have a question for me generally before we call it in. Does anyone have a question? Does anyone have a question? Let me see if there's any question in the chat before I bid us a very lovely. Okay, Daniel says he has a question. Hi, Daniel. You can go ahead and unmute yourself. Yeah, I can't hear you if you're speaking. Right. Can you guys hear me? Just give me a thumbs up if any other person can hear me.
Oh, hello.
All right, Daniel, I can hear
Hi,
you
how are
now.
you? Sorry, just want to inquire about 10 Analytics. Is that your sister company and is that related?
Okay, all right. So Tenalytics is actually a sister company. Tenalytics focuses more on the training aspect of things. So this is more of an internship program. If you have any bit of, maybe you have foundational knowledge in any of these career paths, you could always bring that on board and we help you to gain more experience in that aspect. But if you don't have any form of technical experience yet, you've not worked with any tool before, you just made a decision last week that you want to become a data analyst and you need training, then you get it. Tenalytics is for you. Okay, so Tenalytics is a sister company and they focus more on training you for these career paths. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. So if one does training with them, then does one get work placement with you as well, or is it like two different enrollments?
All right, all right. So there's it depends on the plan you're going for. Right now, they have an internship. They have internship as part of their plan, right? So it depends on what you're going for. So if you're doing maybe, I'm not exactly sure of the plans, but I know there's usually either a 2 month internship attachment to that plan you're making payment for. Once it's time for internship, after you're done with the actual training, they move you down to us for the internship experience. Okay, so if you want us to share your details with, I don't know if you're in contact with anyone from Tenalytics.
Yeah, I think some I'm getting uh, information from yourself and Analytics, so I'm kind of slightly confused about which is which.
Oh, okay, all right. Analytics is for training, right? If you don't have any technical experience at all, you've not done anything before, analytics helps you to do your training. But then I would suggest you book a clarity call with us, right? So that we really, should I say, diagnose your situation and give you actual, advice on where you should go to, where you should start with rather, or yeah. So just book a clarity call in the chat so we get to have a more personalized conversation. Because right now you may not be able to share so much, so I may not exactly know where to direct you to. Does that make sense?
All right, yes, it does. Thanks.
All right, yes, please. So just check the chat. This is also for every other person. You need to speak to someone. You want to book a one-on-one clarity session with us. Please book it in the chat. My colleague has already dropped that link, so you might want to check that. Just going to give 2 more minutes for us to do that. Does any other person have questions? You have a question for me, you have a question for Tolu, you have a question for Michael. Also, if you're trying to get started with the program, maybe you've attended like 10 of our sessions and you're like, okay, I think this is the right time, right? The enrollment link is in the chat. Once you've done the enrollment, you could always book a clarity call so that we can also give you more clarity on what you're coming on board for. So, in the absence of any other questions, I believe we can call it a day. All right. So if you enjoyed today's presentation and you actually, like, you just loved one or two things about this presentation, I just want you guys to give me reactions. Just give me some reactions. Give me some reactions. I want to be sure that we actually got one or two things. Okay. All right. That's lovely. That is so lovely. So thank you all so much for taking out time to watch our interns present. It gets better every single time. All right. So thank you for your time, guys. Wherever you're joining me from, if it's in the morning, good afternoon, good evening. Bye, everyone. See you all same time next week. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.